best thing to do, wait till the dust settles, and then tear down people who give opinions. It is fresh off the 2018 draft. Josh Allen pick number 7. And people, there were some takes. And today, with the hindsight of 2020, we're going to look at those takes and we're going to make fun of those people, knowing what we know now. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go through tweets in a minute. First thing, we're looking at the NFL website, Josh Allen weaknesses, and we're just each going to pick one, our absolute favorite one. I'm leading this off. May have too much hero in his blood. I kind of know what they're going for. I still don't 100% know what that means. This guy wants the team to win so bad that he'll do anything possible. That really seems like a big weakness to me.
Yeah, I think that is definitely one of the best ones. I really like the ones where they say he has too much arm strength. Can you just like you mentioned this. Hey, can we just change the ratings a little bit? Go into the Madden rating. Go ahead and take some of that throw power off. Increase the accuracy. That would be fantastic. Would benefit by trading some velocity for better timing. Or there's several of them about being some crazy big arm. That if you could just transition that into being like go with like a 90 throw power and a 90 throw accuracy, that would be better than a 99 throw power. That's just if you could do that, that'd be fantastic.
They were big on his weaknesses. He's too strong. He's too strong. So we had to. They were so funny. We had to lead off with our favorite of those. But now we're going to get into the fun stuff, the tweets, the post-draft tweets. We're going to start pretty calm. Pretty measured. Just, hey, I don't think this was a good pick, but we're gonna end with a doozy. The last couple are they're aggressive. I'll say it. One of them is so aggressive that I have to read it because my nice co-host here won't even say some of the words in the tweet. So we're gonna start off pretty easy. Nice verified Twitter account. Bills are drafting very well after that Josh Allen thing. I will say we looked up the draft. They did draft very well.
Very, very well. They got Wyatt Teller super late, but that's not what this video. What I'm talking about how well they did. Josh Allen. A lot of people down on Josh Allen, but I don't want to spoil anything. Okay, he wasn't big on Josh Allen. That's how disrespectful is that though? Are we really getting too disrespectful? Hold up. We're going.
Oh, that was one.
That's just a little tidbit. We're moving on to Josh Allen. Now, this one isn't too disrespectful, but he has a great Twitter
handle. Name is the best.
Josh Allen is looking to follow in the footsteps of Mike Glennon, C.J. Beathard, and Trevor Siemian, all starting quarterbacks at one point, by the way. They are the only quarterbacks since 2008 to be drafted after finishing in the bottom 25% of FBS in yards per attempt. So, honestly, just a straight fact, but I just thought it was hilarious. One, his awful white quarterbacks, and he was super high on Lamar Jackson. Props to him on that, as you can probably imagine, given his Twitter handle.
Let's be honest, we kept this tweet in because of the Twitter.
Yeah, but
it's not super disrespectful.
A straight fact, not disrespectful, really too much, but a little. Kind of putting him in with C.J. Beathard and Trevor Siemian, Mike Glennon. Hindsight is not necessarily the best company, but it was hurtful. A fact, and he obviously is a much better quarterback than they are.
And if you have a sweet Twitter name and you have a semi-okay tweet, we're going to use it.
Of course. That's a fact. We have very low standards when it comes to that sort of stuff. That's
I have low standards in most of my life choices, so that makes sense. Next one. The top 4 QBs taken last night with my poor man's ceilings on them. Baker Mayfield, poor man's Drew Brees.
Heard that one a lot.
Kind of nice. Sam Darnold, poor man's Matt Ryan. Still fairly nice. I'm going to go out of order. Josh Rosen, poor man's Jay Cutler. Still not bad. I like Jay Cutler more than a lot of people, but not a terrible. Josh Allen, poor man's Joe Flacco. On its surface, if he had just said Josh Allen, a poor man's Joe Flacco, not great. But it's everything around that. You compare Mayfield to Drew Brees, Sam Darnold to Matt Ryan. Drew Brees obviously significantly better than Joe Flacco. I think most people would agree Matt Ryan better than Joe Flacco. That's where it gets disrespectful.
I think it's a little lazy too. Let's just talk about that. Just because Joe Flacco had a crazy strong arm and still does, but just because he has a big arm, that's like, Josh Allen, way more mobile than him, and it was kind of a lazy argument, let's be honest, but also super disrespectful. Come on. Joe Flacco, Super Bowl winning quarterback, had one great run, give him his props, but they really did not like Josh Allen.
They did not. What do we got next?
Well, we're getting now. I think we're getting into ones here like, oh yeah, we're definitely getting disrespectful. It's hilarious to me that there's people who think Josh Allen. This is from Michael, verified Twitter account. Not that we probably could do any better. No, we definitely could. Who thinks Josh Allen should be picked ahead of Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen? Josh Rosen is been a journeyman quarterback. I heard a lot that he can start day one. He's ready to go. He's ready to go.
They drafted a new quarterback the next year. So here's the thing with this one. On its surface, if he had said, I would take Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen over Josh Allen, that is a fine tweet to make. It would be a bad take, but that is a fine tweet. It is hilarious to me that people think, like, if you have this opinion that's different than mine, that Josh Allen is going to be a good quarterback, you're an idiot. That's pretty much what he said.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly how I read it. He might as well have said that.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what he meant in his heart, but he's like, I don't want to be too mean. But guess what? You got called out 4 years later regardless, so deal with it. Next up, Josh Rosen is the best QB in this draft. Josh Allen is the most overrated QB in this draft. Mitch Trubisky is the most awesomest QB in the NFL. In the NFL, and if you don't have him, you suck anyway.
Okay, so I will tell you, I looked up. They are a big Chicago Bears.
Of course they are. So this is another one, kind of like the cool Twitter name. This is a bad tweet, but the grammar is hilarious. The grammar in this tweet, awesomest. I'm not a smart man. Not a word.
Should we maybe be a little bit? I mean, Mitch Trubisky is an Ohio man. I mean, this is somebody we're both from Ohio. So
that means way more to you than it means to me. I got out.
Not a great quarterback. Let's say that. But I do feel a little soft spot towards Mitch Trubisky. I was a teacher at a school that he went. I mean, there's a little. I was after him after he was there, but so a little bit of a soft spot. They really like Mitch Trubisky in that area. No surprise. Maybe not so much now. I mean, that was back when they thought he was actually going to be good. So.
Yeah, this one obviously disrespectful. Mitch Trubisky, like not necessarily super disrespectful. The Josh Rosen thing is hilarious. It's a bad take, but it's once again we have hindsight. That's the best part of the show. We know everything. We're the smartest people in the world right now. We're smarter than everybody in 2018.
Real quick, Mitch Trubisky story, okay? At the school I was teaching, there was a guy who was a football coach. The younger brother, I believe, of Mitchell Trubisky was in school, and they were like, talking about the player. And he's like, well, he is the younger brother of NFL quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. And I was thinking, if they have another younger brother, would they now still say that they are the younger brother of Mitchell Trubisky? No, they leave that out.
They're just like, oh, he's big brother Mitch? That's all it is. That's all it is in this one. Just his big brother Mitch. So.
Okay. Was this mine now or is this yours?
Yeah.
Okay. This was pretty good. Mason Rudolph. We got some Mason Rudolph action here. Mason Rudolph is a better prospect than Josh Allen, and Pittsburgh got him in the 3rd round. I'm gonna go out and tell you. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that was a bad pick in the 3rd round, and I think Rummy might have been a little off here. But maybe are you a big Mason Rudolph fan?
I can't say that I am, and I don't think there's a single person on this planet, including Mason Rudolph, that would rather have him as the quarterback than Josh Allen. I guarantee right now, if you're like, hey, Mason, we can get Josh Allen, he wouldn't be like, actually, I think I'm the better option here.
Yes.
This was like one tweet that encapsulated quite a few. I like the Jags drafting Tanner Lee in the 6th better than the Bills drafting Josh Allen number 7. So I don't want to speak for you. When I read this, I had to look up who Tanner Lee was. Was not sure. Looked him up. Believe he was on the active roster for 1 game out of the NFL by 2019. In case you had forgotten, this draft was 2018. So that's not great.
I will say this.
There was definitively.
There was a lot of Tanner Lee tweets. For whatever reason, that was the quarterback that people were like, yeah, this is going to be the Tom Brady or whatever.
And I told you what I think it was. I think people do this with late round quarterbacks. They throw out these tweets like, hey, I think Tanner Lee is going to be the next big thing. Because if you miss, you miss, and nobody thinks about it. But if in like 5 years, if Tanner Lee right now was like a starting awesome, if he was Josh Allen right now, you look like the smartest person in the world. You're just throwing things at the wall, hoping one of these, we have a Tom Brady situation where a late round pick turns into something.
Yeah, Brian Fisher the tweeter here, got caught in there's a lot of Tanner Lees, and I just grabbed a verified account that was also on the Tanner Lee. There was surprisingly a lot of people big on Tanner Lee, and even bigger on Tanner Lee somehow than Josh Allen. This one, it was not the biggest offender, but
not great if I have to look up the guy's name. It's just not a solid argument for you.
Okay, next we have Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson. The only quarterbacks worth drafting in the first round. Josh Allen ain't even better than Ryan Mallett. SMH. This
he's half correct. Lamar Jackson was very much worth drafting in the first round.
There was a lot of people that were high on Lamar Jackson. He fell the very last pick in the first round. But Ryan Mallett, former Houston Texan, not great.
No. I brought this story up when we were prepping. Ryan Mallett, I don't even know that you remembered this. You probably don't, because we were in 7th grade when this happened. Ohio did this like Ohio versus the world, and the year before our 6th grade year, our team was very good, and then we lost everybody. Everybody was a senior, so we were very bad. But since we were very good the year before, they put us in the Ohio versus the world, and they brought a team from Texas to Columbus to play at a soccer stadium, Columbus Crew Stadium. I remember our high school. Ryan Mallett destroyed us. It was embarrassing. All I'm saying is Josh Allen would have destroyed us by 100. That's all I know. Knowing what I know now, Josh Allen would have beat us by 100, but Ryan Mallett, props where props is due. He embarrassed our high school team before we were in high school.
All right, you got the next one here.
I do have the next one.
Mr.
Some NFL draft thoughts. He prefaces, there's like a space, there's like proper punctuation. He's ready. Some NFL draft thoughts. The GM who drafts Josh Allen in the first round is going to get fired for that pick. Seems unlikely.
Can I also point out so I did take only the first piece. There's number one of theirs, like 5 takes.
I'm sure
they were all equally terrible. I guess this one was a little bit worse than the other ones. He did say like Saquon was overvalued at his pick, so that one, I mean, a running back that high, I get that. But they were all terrible. Like the guys, the rest of his would talk about these players like later in the. He's like, these guys are going to be an NFL star and all this. Nobody was an NFL star. So overall, a terrible draft for this guy. Josh Allen. Saying the GM's gonna get fired, super disrespectful, and I don't think it worked out that way.
No, if we were good at what we do, we would have looked up the GM, because I guarantee he's gotten some like crazy extension since drafting Josh Allen. But we're not good at what we do, so we did not look that up.
Maybe I'll pop it up on the screen.
Hey, I'm assuming. You know what? We're just gonna roll with it. The GM got a huge extension. It was fantastic for his career.
Not great. Not great analysis there. For
you ready for the penultimate? I just want to say penultimate. It's a great word. You want to ready for the penultimate tweet?
All right. We got two, and I will say this one you might find to be extremely disrespectful. We did have one pretty much locked in though, but this one's pretty disrespectful as well.
Most weeks this probably would have been the end.
All right. Who would be the NBA equivalent of Josh Allen? Physically gifted guy with superlative traits. Wow. Okay. This isn't disrespectful. Okay. What is this? Who was really, really, really terrible at playing his sport. Awful from a skill perspective. Still got taken super high because GMs are morons and never learn. So
why did GM hate?
Basically, just disrespect. This was like a double whammy. Not just going after Josh Allen, also going after GMs.
GMs, not just the Bills GM. He said every GM is an idiot.
So who would be his NBA equivalent? I saw like Kwame Brown on there. Some people also had some pretty good responses in there. Somebody who had crazy superlatives, but really, really, really awful at their sport.
Three reallys. The guy is getting drafted. First of all, he played college football, so he's already like more talented than most people on this planet. But he's really, really bad at his sport. Like 32 NFL teams are like, we might pick him, but no, he's really bad at football.
I mean, he did play at Wyoming, so I mean, I'm sure the rest of the team wasn't great.
No, you're not wrong, but that's not what we're doing here. You forget what we're doing here. All right, we got our last one. I am going to censor myself in case there are children watching, but no, it gets pretty disrespectful. The same dunces already off to a rip-roaring start for a disrespectful tweet.
I think this is how you really get disrespectful. You got to begin strong and you got to end strong. So like let's see how it goes.
the same dunces doing the same poop the same way and then hiring each other. It's the talent equivalent to inbreeding, and the result is number 7 overall pick Josh Allen. We have dunces. We have aggressive words for fecal matter. We have inbreeding. To talk about a man who just had his life changed, and as we know now, because we're 4 years later, and this is how we do it, we wait until the dust settles, is an awesome NFL quarterback. And that guy threw three very aggressive insults Josh Allen's way.
Yeah, and not even just Josh Allen. He also went after the hiring of like who's making these decisions. Well, also brought in like GMs,
GM hate.
Yeah, a lot of GM hate. So this guy got he's clearly the most disrespectful of all, and you get the winner Crimson as one of the best tweets from back in 2018, right after the NFL draft.
In what, like 2 months, when we're huge and everybody's watching, we're like big stars and we can afford this, we're gonna have to make trophies. Whoever has the most disrespectful tweet every episode, and actually find a way to mail them to these people.
For sure. Crimson, maybe down the road.
In like a month. We'll be huge in a month. It'll be fine. So that's our disrespectful. 3 insults, very aggressive language, dunces, inbreeding. That's what you got in 2018, referring to Josh Allen, a man who I think most people now believe is one of the biggest parts of the future of the NFL. Best thing to do, wait till the dust settles, and then tear down people who give opinions.